Students, let's do Brahmanath. Om. Om. Santi, Santi, Santi. Swasth.
Good morning students. Welcome back to another video lecture from your chapter that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In the previous lectures already we have discussed in details about the development of male gametophyte, female gametophyte and the process of pollination. In the process of pollination we have studied two types of pollination are there. One is your self-pollination and another one is your cross-pollination. And the basic difference between self-pollination and cross-pollination is that self-pollination involves a single plant and cross-pollination involves two different plants. And for the cross-pollination we need several types of agents, and these agents may include into biotic type or abiotic type. And these agents mainly help in the transfer of pollen grain from one place to another place. And the biotic agents and abiotic agents, some of the example are your abiotic agents. Water and air are your abiotic agents, and the biotic agents are your different types of insects, animals, snails and several birds. They are involved in the pollination process. In previous class we know that pollination is required and for the successful cross pollination, and for that different types of agents are required. In today's class we will learn two different topics or different concepts, that is your pollen pistil interaction first, and second we will know about the self incompatibility. Already we have studied about self incompatibility or self sterility in the contrivances of cross pollination. Today we will know in details about that topic, that is your self incompatibility, its types and basic on their different morphology and genotype, how can self incompatibility will be divided. First we will know about the pollen pistil interaction. Okay, then let us discuss what is pollen pistil interaction. And already you know that pollen it is a male part, that is something related to male gametophyte, and pistil that is a female part which belongs to your gynoecium. And basically the pollen and pistil both are present in a single structure, that is a flower. And basically in the angiospermic plant, flower is an important structure which is present. Today we will learn how the pollen and pistil will interact with each other for a complete or a successful fertilization process. Okay, then let us discuss about this chapter, that is pollen pistil interaction. Then first come to important point. We know that in the angiosperm, double fertilization process will occur. Most of the angiosperm double fertilization is an important process, important physiological process why it is really much important, because there is a long term interaction in between the pollen and pistil occurs, and we know that in the double fertilization process here there is a long term interaction of pollen with the sporophytic tissue, that is your pistil, or we call it as your carpel. And that pistil, it is having two parts. We know that one is your style and second is your stigma. Here, to these two structures, the pollen will interact and develop into a successful fertilization process. And if we say that the interaction, why it is long-term interaction? Because there should be a genetic variability occur and the plant will stable itself. Okay. And basically for this interaction, that interaction may be of two types. We can divide this interaction into two types. One is your right type interaction and another one is your wrong type interaction. Okay, I will draw a diagram, then you will be able to know. Suppose you know that this is the structure of your carpet. Okay, carpet you can say this. Then this is the stigma surface and this is the style. Clear? And basically the pollen grains that will come and fall on the surface. Suppose this is having its own stamen. This is having its own stamen. Then pollen grain will come and fall on the surface. Clear? Suppose this red pollen will fall on the stigma surface. And when I will say the interaction between right type, when it will be wrong type. How can you know it is right type or wrong type interaction? Suppose this is your stigma surface. Clear? And the pollen grain of the red type, it is of the same flower. Suppose I will draw another flower. I will draw. This is suppose a green flower which is having its own. This is this green one is pollen. Okay. When it will be right type, when it will be wrong type. Already we know that the stigma surface, it will not allow its own pollen grain to germinate on its surface. It will allow the another pollen grain of the another flower. Suppose this is A flower and this is B flower. Here. And if the pollen grain, suppose this green type pollen grain will come and fall on the surface. Okay. Then there is formation of pollen tube, but the red type it will not form the pollen tube. Similarly, here the green type, when it will fall on the surface, it will not form the pollen tube, but when the green type of pollen it will fall on the surface, it will form the pollen tube. Clear? And this is due to the genetic variability that occur inside your stigma surface. Stigma will know which is the better pollen grain and which is having a better quality of characteristics, and usually that will allow the formation of pollen tube. And this is called as your right type or wrong type. Okay, clear? If in the right type case, if the pollen will form pollen tube on stigma surface. Here it is when the pollen on the stigma surface. Here this is the stigma surface. It will allow the green pollen grain to form its pollen tube, but the red pollen grain of its own type it will not form the pollen tube. That's why it is clear that stigma having some ability to recognize a certain type of pollen grain, and that certain type of pollen grain will germinate on its surface, and this time it is called as your right type of interaction, and the pollen tube will be formed, and it is called as your compatible type. Clear? And when there will be no interaction in between the stigma surface and pollen grain, obviously there will be no formation of a pollen tube. Okay, when there is no interaction of stigma and pollen, okay, when there will be no successful interaction, then stigma will not allow the formation of the pollen tube, and that time it is called as a wrong time, and the interaction it is called as a incompatible interaction. Incompatible interaction. And when there is compatible interaction, that compatible interaction it will allow the post pollination events. Okay, that will allow the post pollination event which will lead to the fertilization process. Fertilization process. Clear? And basically the post pollination we know that basically it is having two steps. When the pollen grain having the development, the pre-pollination it is having 2 cell stage, and the post-pollination stage it is having 3 cell stage. We know that basically it is having the T nucleus and 2 male gametes will be formed. It will occur after the post-pollination. When post-pollination will occur, when the pollen grains are transferred from the anther surface, it will fall on the stigma surface and it will absorb the nutrient from the stigma and it will start to form the pollen. It is called as a post-pollination events. It will occur after the successful establishment only. And when it will occur? When there will be compatible interaction or right type interaction in between your stigma and pollen grain. And if it is wrong type interaction in between stigma and pollen grain, then there will be no formation of your pollen tube and there will be no post-pollination event. Okay. Here, if it is incompatible, no post-pollination event. No post-pollination event. And there is no fertilization. Clear? Okay. And basically, this type of interaction between stigma and your pollen need a chemical. It is an important point. Okay, remember that. These two types of interaction, pollen pistil interaction, mostly it will depend upon chemical secreted by pollen and stigma surface. Clear? This is an important point. Remember that. Usually the chemical which is present in the pollen tube or the pollen grain surface and the chemical which is present in the stigma surface, that will interact with each other. Clear? And then there is successful establishment will occur or not occur, that will selected upon by the stigma surface. Clear? And this is known as a pollen pistil interaction, and it is an important feature of your angiospermic plant. And basically there is a long-term interaction occurs in between stigma and pollen, and after the long-term interaction process, when the pollen grain will be selected by your stigma surface, there is formation of pollen tube, and that pollen tube, inside that pollen tube there is presence of the gamete, and that gamete will come, and we know that inside the ovary that is presence of ovule, and inside the ovule there is presence of embryo sac, and towards the microvilli there is presence of the egg cell and the your synogytes. Chalagella there is presence of your antibodies. The male gamete will come and it will enter through the microvilli and it will fuse with the egg to form the zygote. Clear? And this is basic important characteristics of your angiosperms. Okay, note down these points, then we will discuss about some important significance of your pollen pistil interaction. Note down these points. Then let us discuss about some important significance of the pollen pistil interaction and why it is important in case of angiosperms. And basically, the main function of double fertilizing angiosperm is that. Okay, we can discuss that. Main function of double fertilization is that what is the main function? To maintain the stability of the species, and second one, to produce or to permit genetic variability among species. These are two important functions of your Dower fertilization. That is, it will permit or it will allow it to maintain the stability of the species. Okay. And if fertilization will not occur, then how the stability of that species will occur? How it will the character of the parent, it will go from the different generation, from one generation to the next generation. That's why the stability of that generation or that species is maintained, and that species will be maintained for long period. If fertilization will not occur, then their stability will not be occur. And second important point is that we will produce the genetic variability within the species, and we know that basically the genetic variability which will occur if it will cross pollination occur, and also genetic variability, it is related to the genetic constituent or genetic constituent of stigma and pollen. And how the genetic constituent will be different from the parent to their offspring. Okay, suppose the parent is having something A character and the offspring it will have something B character. How this character will come to the B character, B offspring? Okay, when these are naturally selected or some unique character or some important feature that will come from the another species, then variability will occur, and that will be genetically selected by the stigma and pollen. As we know that this stigma structure, if you draw this stigma structure, this is the stigma structure, and when the pollen tube will fall on the surface, there is formation of pollen tube. We all know that when that pollen tube will be formed. Okay, one case notice that suppose here there is presence of your embryo sac, that pollen tube will enter deeply into the ovule. Clear? And this pollen tube, the pollen tube will it has to cover the stigma, then it will have to cover the distance of style. Okay, that measurement finally reaches to the ovary where ovule is present. Clear? Here you can see there is a large distance or a long distance present between stigma up to the egg cell. Suppose egg cell is present here, and here only the different pollen grains are there selected. Suppose there are 3 to 4 pollen grains will fall on the surface, but still only one pollen grain will able to germinate or able to form the pollen tube. Why? Because it is naturally selected by the stigma. Okay, which is naturally present inside the flower. We know that flower it is having a long structure of your gynecium. It is the structure of gynecium, or we call it as your pistil. Okay, so nature already creates to able so that it will having the ability of the plant, so that it will create a genetically variable plant, because it is having a long length automatically, or long length. Due to the long length, and pollen grain will fall on the surface, and it has to travel for a long distance to reach the vicinity of the egg. Okay, this is the vicinity of egg or interior. You can say the egg cell is present interior of ovary. Okay, as it is present very interior to the ovary, then different pollen grains will fall on the surface, and they are naturally selected by the stigma. And this is an important features of angiosperms, which these characteristics of stigma or this morphology of stigma will allow the genetic variability in different species of angiosperm. Clear? And our fertilization basically which need two functions, that is stability of the species and genetic variability. It is maintained by your morphology of your stigma surface or the structure of the gynecium itself. Clear? And this is significance of the pollen-pistillate interaction. But we have known about the pollen-pistillate interaction is that pollen-pistillate interaction, it is a long-term interaction in between your pollen and stigma surface. If there is a right type interaction, this is called as your compatible interaction. If it is wrong type, it is called as your incompatible interaction. And obviously, the compatible interaction will allow the formation of pollen tube. Clear? Note on these points, then we will discuss about the self-incompatibility. Okay, note on these points. Well, let us discuss about the another concept that is mostly seen in case of angiosperm, that is your self-incompatibility, or which is also called as your self-sterility or intraspecific incompatibility. Already we have discussed in the contrivances of self-sterility is that the pollen grain of the same flower, it is enabled to germinate on the same flower. Why? Due to the presence of some genetical region. And basically in this chapter we will know how the self-incompatibility occur in the higher plants or angiospermic plant. Okay. And then what is the definition of self-incompatibility? If we say the definition, okay, some gametes which are genetically similar of same species, but still they are enable they are having the ability to fuse with each other this is called as self-incompatibility or self-sterility or intraspecific incompatibility. Clear? These are three definitions which are having similar meaning, that is self-incompatibility, self-sterility and intraspecific incompatibility. These are three terms which are related to self. Self means a single individual or single species that are having gametes which are genetically similar. Clear? But they are having inability to fuse with each other. Okay, they are having inability to fuse with each other, and this property of that flower is called as your self-incompatibility or self-sterility or intraspecific incompatibility. Okay, and basically the intraspecific one term is that intraspecific. Already you know it on, and its opposite is interspecific. Obviously, already you can know that intracellular and intercellular. Intracellular means in the cell and within the cell. Intracellular means within the cell, and intercellular means in between two cells. Similarly, intraspecific means within the species, and interspecific means between the species. Yeah, between two species. And basically, the incompatibility it is due to the following four reasons. Clear? Then what are these following four reasons? Then suppose first, prevention of pollen germination, then second, retardation of pollen tube growth, and third, deterioration of pollen tube, and fourth, last one, that is your failure of nuclear fission. Okay, failure of nuclear fission. These are some reasons where there is no formation of a pollen tube inside the stigma surface or upon the stigma surface. Suppose prevention of pollen germination. Suppose this is your stigma. Okay. You can see this diagram of your pistil. This is the pistil, and this is your stigma surface, and this is your style. First, initially when the pollen will fall on the surface, from the first period there will be no germination of pollen grain. Okay, this is the first condition. Second condition, that is retardation of pollen tube growth. The pollen tube growth initially will be retarded at the stigma surface it will be. Okay, retardation means there will be no development of the pollen tube. Then deterioration of pollen tube. When suppose the pollen tube starts to development, but at the near style in pistil style, there will be no further growth of that pollen tube. Clear? And failure of nucleation. Suppose male gamete will come, and but there is no nuclear fusion in upper unit egg cell and the male gamete. These are the conditions where there will be no involvement of fertilization process. These are the perspectives where there will be no involvement of the gamete of the male gamete to the female gamete, and this is called as your self-sterility or self-incompatibility. And this is occur due to the multiple allele. And we know that a single gene having two allele. Clear? Suppose a character that is AA. It is a gene. Clear? Which is responsible for tallness. Clear? Then this is a one allele, this is another allele. We will know in details in genetics when we will study about the genetics. Then you will know that multiple allele means when there is presence of more than two allele in a single gene, that is called as a multiple allele. And self-incompatibility, it is an important example of your multiple allele in case of plant. And in case of animal, you will see the blood group of the human beings. It is an important example of your multiple allele, where you will find four types of blood groups are present: A, B, AB, and O blood groups are present. Okay, clear? Later we will know in genetics how this concept about the multiple allele. Clear? But you know that the self-incompatibility is due to the multiple allele, that is presence of more than two allele in a single gene. Clear? Then note down these points. Then we will know about the different types of self-incompatibility. Note down these points. Just then types of self-incompatibility. Already we have discussed about the concept of self-incompatibility. Then morphologically self-incompatibility. Morphologically self-incompatibility. These are two types. Here, what are these two types? One is called as heteromorphic, and second one is called as homomorphic type. This first one, this is second one. And here you can see the term hetero. Hetero means that is something related to different, and the morphic means that is related to your morphology, and homo here means same, and morphic means your morphology. When you will see there is different types of flowers are present. As there is different types of flowers, their morphology will be different, and that's why this is called as heteromorphic type, and this is called as homomorphic type. And basically the heteromorphic type, there may be two conditions in case of heteromorphic type. One is your distyling, and second one is your tristyling. Here we will see two types of styles are present. Two types of style, and here we will see three types of styles are present in case of tri-styling condition. Already we have studied in the heteromorphism that distylic condition we will see in case of primula or that is primrose plant, where we will see there is the presence of two types of flower. Suppose one okay, there is presence of one long style and short stamen, and there is presence of another short style and long stamen. Okay, and we know that this is P9 flower and this is frond-eyed flower. Of these species, that is which species? Primula species or Primrose species. And suppose I will say this is P9, this is frond-eyed, this is known as your stigma, and this style is long here and here this style is short, and if the pollen grain will be formed inside this anther, then it is impossible for this pollen grain to be transferred to the surface of the same flower. Yes or no? When the pollen grain will form here, then it is impossible to be transferred, which is having a longer length of your style. And similarly, when the pollen grain is formed inside the anther of a long stamen, then it is impossible to be transferred to the short style. That's why there will be cross pollination occur here. Clear? And this is due to the morphological region. That is a definite heteromorphic condition. Due to heteromorphic condition, there will be cross pollination occurs, and the pollen grain of the same flower it will not germinate on the stem of the same flower. Thus, the pollen grain which is formed in the another flower, suppose this is A or this is B flower, the B flower pollen grain will fall on the surface of your stigma of A flower. Clear? And the pollen grain of the A flower will fall on the surface of the stigma of the B flower. And this is the concept. Okay. And if we will cross the pin with the P9, okay, then the stigma will allow the formation of the pollen grain or not? Obviously no. Why? Because the P9 flower it is having the larger style length. That's why here incompatible interaction will occur. Clear? And if pin into thumb occurs, or opposite, thumb into eye occurs, P9 having the stigma surface larger, thumb-eyed pollen grain having the larger stamen. Obviously, the pollen grain of the larger stamen it will come on the surface of the stigma surface. Obviously, it will be compatible type. Okay, we are interacting about the concept of incompatible, compatible with that of your self-incompatibility. Clear? If I will take P9 pin flower, then it is incompatible. If I will take P9 thumb flower, then there is compatible interaction occur and there will pollination occurs in between the two flowers. And if I will take thumb and thumb flower, thumb into thumb, then obviously here it is incompatible. Yes or no? It is incompatible reaction will occur. Clear? And this is due to the heteromorphism of the flower. Clear? This is due to the presence of multiple alleles in the flower structure, which will allow different types of flower formation in case of the Primula species. Similarly, tri-stylic condition, jasmine flower, we know that it is having tri-stylic condition, one larger style, one medium style and one shorter style. Already we have discussed in the previous chapter, that is contrivances. Clear? This is the concept about the heteromorphic type of incompatibility. And in the homomorphic type, what we will see, that is presence of, okay, note that these are due to the different mating types. Okay, this is one mating type, this is another mating type. What? Mating type means this is a one type of flower that will involve in a fertilization process. That's why it is called as a mating type. Here, and it is another flower which is involved in a fertilization process. This is called as another mating type. And basically, in the homomorphic type, you will see multiple allele is present and multiple mating types are present. Multiple mating types are present. And these are of heteromorphic type. These are morphologically distinguishable. Okay. The important difference is that morphologically distinguishable. Clear. But the homomorphic type, we cannot distinguish the homomorphic type of flower. These are morphologically indistinguishable. Okay. Morphologically indistinguishable. Here, their flower structure is same. Their flower appearance is same. Here we will see two types of styles are present, but here there will be similar types of style will be present. But how they are included in the self-incompatibility? Why? Because they are structurally similar. We cannot say that they are morphologically dissimilar, that is included in the self-incompatibility. Then how it is included in the self-incompatibility? The basic point is that they are genetically different. Their gene will vary. Okay, already we have studied in the definition that the gene will be same but the gamete will not fuse, and that is called as your self-incompatibility. Okay, these are morphologically indistinguishable, but there will be variation in gene. Okay, due to the variation gene, there is self-incompatibility occur, and that self-incompatibility, it is of two types. One is your gametophytic self-incompatibility and another one is your sporophytic self-incompatibility. Okay, first note down these points, then we will discuss about the gametophytic and sporophytic self-incompatibility. Discuss about the gametophytic and sporophytic incompatibility. Here, already we have discussed about the morphological type. Basically, two types are present. One is your heteromorphic type and another one is your homomorphic type. And if the factor or it is also called a gene. Okay, gene is also called as a factor. Factor is it is formed by your Mendel. Mendel has formed the word factor, and then it is derived. The gene word is derived from the factor word. Clear? And basically we know that a single gene it is having two allele, and if a gene will control the mating type of species, okay, any species, okay, then it can be of two types. That mating type may be of two types. One is your gametophytic, and second one called as sporophytic. Clear? And here in the gametophytic type of gametophytic self-incompatibility. Okay. Then write that self-incompatibility, and it is sporophytic self-incompatibility. Okay. Here the gametophytic and here it is sporophytic. That is, you know, the gametophytic term, it is something related to egg, that is something related to gamete. Okay, and sporophytic means your two end, that is related to sporophytic means your the plant, that is obviously two end. Clear? And suppose a gene, suppose S gene is present in case of any plant. S is a gene that is responsible for the mating type, if it is gametophytic or if it is sporophytic. S gene is present in case of any species of the flower. Clear? And basically gametophytic self-incompatibility, it is controlled by the gene of pollen. Okay, the gene of gamete of your pollen. And here the sporophytic self-incompatibility, it is controlled by gene of sporophytic tissue. Sporophytic tissue or stigmatic tissue, from which the pollen is derived. Pollen is sporophytic or stigmatic tissue, from which the pollen is derived. Okay, let us draw the diagram to be able to know that. Suppose this is the carpet here, and these are the stamen which is present here. Okay, there is possibility of cell pollination here. Why? Because this is similar in structure, is coming in the stigma surface, but still there is presence of, if there is gametophytic cell incompatibility, then it is controlled by the gene of pollen. Okay, and this is the gene of pollen gain, and it may be haploid nature. And in the sporophytic cell incompatibility, it is controlled by the stigmatic surface or the plant. It is a plant here from which the flower is derived, and if the incompatibility reaction, it is controlled by the stigmatic surface or the plant itself, then it is called as sporophytic. And if it is controlled by the gene of only pollen gain, it is called as gametophytic incompatibility. Clear? And basically in the gametophytic cell incompatibility, suppose we have two genes S1 and S2. Okay, here in the pollen grain there is presence of S1 and S2, and here also there is presence of S1 and S2. Clear? This is the genotype of gene of the plant, and this is also genotype of the pollen grain, and there is production of one S1 pollen grain and another S2 pollen grain from the anther. Clear? Anther having the genotype S1, S2, but the pollen grain having the gene one S1 and S2. And if S1 and S2, it is crossed with S1, S2, then this is incompatible. Yes or no? Already we know that. Why? Because this S1 and this S2, these are genetically similar to that of the stigma surface. That's why there is no formation of your pollen tube. Why? Already if S1 and S2 form on the surface, there will be no formation of your. What is that? There is no formation of pollen tube. Why? These are genetically similar in nature. Clear? And this is called as your incompatible reaction. And if second condition is that S1 and S2, it is crossed with S1 and S3. Clear? Suppose S3 is another plant. Suppose this is another flower and it is having a pollen grain, and here there is presence of S3, S4. S3 is gene of one pollen grain and S4 is a gene of another pollen grain. Clear? And this S3 fall on the surface of the stigma. Note that this S3 is genetically different from your S1 and S2. Clear or not clear? Okay. And that's why here the S1 will not form the pollen tube, but S3 it will form the pollen tube inside the stigma surface. Clear? And here we can say that it is partially incompatible. Partially incompatible. Why partially incompatible? Because 50% of the gene, that is your allele, it is S3 and it is capable of formation of pollen tube. That's why there is formation of pollen tube here, and this is called as partially incompatible. And in the third condition of this flower, this is stigma surface of this flower, and this is having the genotype S1 and S2. Already it is the genotype of the stigmatic surface, and when S3 pollen grain and S4 pollen grain form on this surface having a different genotype, it is different from S1 and S2, these are genetically different, then the stigma surface will select this S3 and S4 and there is formation of pollen tube. When we will cross this, here we will find that in the third condition, when we will cross S1, S2 with S3, S4, here, which is the genotype of pollen grain of another plant or another species. Clear? Then that is, we can say that it is compatible. Fully compatible. Fully compatible. This is fully incompatible. First condition, S1 and S2 crosses with S1, S2, it is fully incompatible. When S1, S2 crosses with S1, S3, it is partially incompatible, and when S1, S2 it is crosses with S3, S4, it is fully compatible type. That is 100% formation of your pollen tube here. And this is called as your gametophytic cell incompatibility. But when this sporophytic incompatibility appears, then this genome of the S1 and S2 it will involve, and there will be different conditions. Clear? And this is the concept, that is your self incompatibility. It is of two types, that is, one is your heteromorphic type and homomorphic type, based on their morphology and based on their gene. If the gene will control the mating type, it is called as your, one is your gametophytic incompatibility and another one is your sporophytic self incompatibility. When the gene of the gamete or the pollen gene control the mating type, control the incompatibility reaction, it is called as your gametophytic self incompatibility. But when the gene of the stigmatic surface or the, that is your sporophytic tissue from which pollen is produced, then it is called as your sporophytic self incompatibility. Okay, the pollen pistol interaction and that is your self incompatibility. These are two important short questions for your exam point of view, and these are the main concepts which are interrelated. Pollen pistol interaction and self incompatibility, these are interrelated. Clear? Note down these points and go through this topic today. Okay, see you in next class. Thank you.